I want you to picture something. You're standing on a rocky hill in Athens, about 2,000 years ago. A speech is about to begin, but this is way more than just words. It's a proclamation designed to completely overwrite reality as you know it. So today, we're going to take a modern look at what was said and, more importantly, what it means for us right now.
It really all kicks off with this one powerful question. What if that speech wasn't just some old theological debate? What if it was, a key, one meant to unlock a completely new way of seeing and living in the world?
Okay, to really get this, we have to go there. Imagine it. You're on the Areopagus in ancient Athens. You're literally surrounded by the smartest people of the day, philosophers, thinkers, but you're also standing in what feels like a forest of marble statues, gods everywhere, all carved from cold, dead, unmoving rock.
And right into this forest of stone, a speaker walks up. He points to all those idols, and he delivers this just stunning opening line. He's not just critiquing their art. Not at all. He's diagnosing a deep, deep problem with their entire world. A world that's trying to contain an infinite spirit inside the limits of finite man-made stuff.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. He's talking about the smog. And no, this isn't literal pollution. It's the spiritual atmosphere. You know, that thick mix of intellectual pride and rigid religious tradition. It's the very air they were breathing. An old system built on trying to trap God in stone. And this lays out the whole conflict perfectly. The speaker is putting two worlds side by side. On one hand, you've got the old 7-day world. It's all about dead clay, that smoggy air, and stone shrines that don't move. But on the other hand, he's talking about an 8th-day reality, a world of living gardens, pure air, and something he calls mobile sanctuaries.
So you have to wonder, how do you get from one world to the other? Well, the speaker doesn't just point out the problem, he offers the solution. And the craziest part? It's been hidden in plain sight the whole time. On an altar they built themselves. See, the Athenians, they had an altar dedicated to the unknown god. They were basically admitting, hey, we're worshiping a shadow, a vague idea. And so our speaker, Paul, he steps right in and says, that thing you're worshiping without knowing? Yeah, I'm here to introduce you to the real substance behind that shadow. He uses a word they would have known instantly, logos. Now, to the Greek philosophers, the logos was this divine reason, the logic that held the universe together. But Paul, he completely flips it on its head. He says the logos isn't some cold theory or an abstract principle. No, it's a person who became flesh, and his name is Jesus. And this is the moment where the speech just takes a massive dramatic turn. To explain who this Jesus is, Paul doesn't give a biography. Instead, he transports his audience from that hill in Athens straight into a cosmic courtroom drama that decided the fate of the entire world. And you're probably asking the same thing, right? What in the world does a trial in Jerusalem have to do with statues in Athens? The answer is everything. This is the moment, Paul claims, that the spiritual hardware of the old world tried and totally failed to break the software of the new. Think about it. When Jesus stood before his accusers and they demanded to know who he was, he gives this cryptic, cosmic answer. He's not really talking to the men in the room. He's looking right through them, pulling back a curtain to show everyone a much, much bigger stage. And behind that curtain? Well, the real trial wasn't about a man named Jesus versus some priests. It was about the Son of Man versus the real defendants, these dark spiritual powers that our source material calls the beasts of the nations, the unseen forces pulling the strings of empires like Rome. This just completely reframes the crucifixion, doesn't it? In this telling, it is not a tragic defeat. It is a calculated, pre-planned legal victory in the highest court in the entire universe. So let's break this down, because it's wild. You've got two things happening at the exact same time. Down on earth, in Jerusalem, the religious authorities see a prisoner being executed. But up in the heavenly court, the ultimate judge, called the Ancient of Days, is in session. And the verdict? The case isn't against Jesus. It's against those dark powers. They are judged, and they are legally disarmed. The result? The Son of Man legally reclaims the keys, the authority over the entire earth. So, to put it as plainly as possible, the crucifixion was a legal eviction notice.
It was served to the darkness that had been squatting over the nations for ages. The cross wasn't an execution, it was an enthronement. Now, that is a huge cosmic idea, right? But Paul's speech doesn't just leave it floating up in the heavens. No, he brings this victory crashing down into the most personal, intimate space you can possibly imagine. Inside you.
So where is this kingdom? Where is this new eighth-day reality? Did it just stay in the past? Is it somewhere up in the sky? The answer is probably the most radical part of the entire proclamation. The power isn't out there, it's in here. That pure air of the new creation has come and replaced the smog of the old. The divine doesn't live in stone temples anymore. He has made his home, what's called a mansion of his presence, right inside your very being. And that changes everything. I mean, if God lives in you, you're no longer a victim of the atmosphere around you. You are the atmosphere. You become what the Source calls a mobile sanctuary. You carry the very presence of God with you wherever you go.
So this new identity? Well, it comes with a brand new job description. This isn't some passive reality where you just sit back. It's an active mission, a vocation. So what is this mission? Let's walk through it. First, you're reinstated to your original purpose. You're a co-ruler, a king and a priest. And that means your job isn't to just wait around for a better world, for a perfect garden. Your job is to grow on. So you go into the thorny, messy, bushy parts of your world. And then, using the power that's inside you, you actively garden them back to life. The whole point is to keep expanding the borders of that sanctuary that lives inside of you. This is what the Source calls the finally. It's the moment of action. The story is not over. In fact, the expansion of this new creation, this eighth-day reality, it's supposed to be happening right now, through you. And that leaves us with this final thought. It's like a personal seal for this whole proclamation. It's not just a nice summary, it's an identity statement. It's a declaration that your life is no longer defined by the dead stones of the past, but by the ongoing mission of turning the world's broken bushes into the king's garden.